Hello, a very good evening to all of you. So in today's class, we're going to talk about secondary education, that is the recommendation of the National Policy of Education 1986 and the Program of Action 1992. So let's see the introduction first. Since the adoption of the 1968 policy on education, there has been a tremendous expansion in educational facility all over the country at all levels. When I say at all levels means at primary, secondary and tertiary. So more than 90% of the country's rural habitations then have schooling facilities within the radius of 1 kilometer. However, the general formulation incorporated in 1968 policy did not get translated into a detailed study of implementation. So as a result of which, problem of access, quality, quantity, utility, and financial outlay accumulated over the years. So because this policy 1968 could not implement all those recommendations. So as a result of that, the government of India announced in January 1985 that a new educational policy would be formulated in the country. So there was a wide debate on educational reforms in the country. So finally, the new educational policy on education 1986 was appointed by the parliament in the month of May and the year 1986. So due to power changes, I would say, like during that time, so the front party, they won and then they rule at that time, and then later after a few years then Congress come into power again. So there are many changes that has taking place during that year, and then the later at the request of the CABE, okay, a committee was set up in July 1991 to watch and to study, to go through the policy of 1986, okay, and to consider modification of this NPE 1986. So this committee, under the leadership or chairmanship of N.J. Reddy, they have finally submitted the report in January 1992 and named that one as the Program of Action 1992. Now let's talk about the recommendation on secondary education by National Policy of Education 1986. So let's see one by one its recommendation. The first one, an appropriate stage to provide to students with a sense of history and national perspective and give them opportunities to understand their constitutional rights and duties. So during this stage, during the secondary education stage, the students will be able to have knowledge about the Indian history and the world history at large, and also to have perspective, national perspective, national views, national opinions, and give them opportunity to understand about their constitutional rights and duties. And with this knowledge, then they will be able to proceed ahead in their life and energize those rights and duties at appropriate time. The next one, let's see, the conscious internalization of a healthy work ethics and of values of a human and composite culture will be brought about through appropriate formulated curriculum. So curriculum will be formulated in such a way that it will internalize the healthy work ethics and values of human and composite culture. Okay, so all these will be brought out through a formulated curriculum. So students will be learning about the values of human, and then about the many different cultures that is there in our country, and also of the healthy work ethics. So through this curriculum, various things that the students going to learn. The next one is access to secondary education will be widened to cover areas unserved by it at present. So secondary education will be strengthened, will be widened, especially to those area which is not yet served. So secondary education will be widened in those area. The next one is, it is universally accepted that children with special talent or aptitude should be provided opportunities to proceed at a faster pace by making good quality education. So this policy, they have recommended on helping out those students who have special talents and aptitude, and they will be providing opportunities to proceed ahead of their schoolmates, by making sure that they give good quality education. And especially nowadays, you will see there are so many children who at their younger age, they are sitting or they are attending university class and with other students who are of more elderly, I mean, who are more elder than them, isn't it? So this policy actually help out those kind of student also. The next one is, pace setting school will be set up in various part of the country on a given pattern, but with full scope for innovation and experimentation. The school will be residential and free of charge. So when I said pace setting school here, it means the Navodaya Vidyala school. I think all of you have heard about those school, and they are in every district, and these school, they provide free book, free fees, I mean, you understand, right? It is free of charge, right? And these school, mainly they galvanize the academic, social, cultural, and they work with the local community to promote better eco friendly atmosphere. So these school will be set up in various part of the country uh, under this policy. Next, let's see the Program of Action 1992 for secondary education. 10 plus 2 plus 3 structure suggested for the secondary education by Program of Action 1992. So this structure is very famous. It is a common structure for secondary education all over the country. The next one is plan expansion of secondary facilities. So this Program of Action, they have work out to expand the secondary facilities, that is building, then construction of buildings, then construction of library, then playground, then science lab, and many more, right? So they have worked out on expanding the secondary facilities. Then the next one is higher participating of girls, then scheduled caste and scheduled tribe ensure. So they want the girls to be more involved in this secondary level, and they also ensure that the girls belonging from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe should continue their secondary education. The next one, they have talk about qualitative improvement, modernization, and diversification. So here, this Program of Action 1992, they work on to improve the quality of the secondary education and bring about modernization and see the diversification that is there in our country. So next is role of Board of Secondary Education strengthened. So like when I said role of board, mean like, for example, here in the state of Meghalaya we have MBOs. So MBOs has its role, okay, has its own role, and they have worked out to improve the secondary education in the state of Meghalaya. And then this Program of Action 1992, they work on and strengthen the role of the Board of Secondary Education. So next is Program for Head of Secondary School for Professional Development Design. So I have seen with my own eyes, the heads of the secondary school, they have to go for trainings to acquire proficiency in administration, in running out the school, the college and everything, right? But mainly for the school. So there are programs for the heads of secondary school. So we have the next point, that is senior secondary stage is a crucial stage and individual subject discipline to be taught. The next point is content to be oriented through semesterization, implementation of national curriculum framework, modernization of curriculum, and evaluation of textbooks. So this program of action, they have worked on to make sure that the contents have to be oriented through semester wise, and then they are going to work on implementing the national curriculum framework and modernize the curriculum, and also evaluate the textbook after 5 years or after 6 years, depending on the NCERT. The next one is 15 Navodaya Vidyala are to be open in every year and in every district. A revised strategies made for construction to minimize costs. So admission tests to be evaluated, recruitment of talented teachers, and national integration to be promoted. So these school, which is called the pace setting school, Navodaya, during the program of action 1992, they have suggested to open 50 more Navodaya Vidyala in every year. Okay, and the teacher who wants to teach in this school, they have to be talented, and they only recruit those talented teachers who are very passionate about teaching. And then also they have revised some strategies to they have come up many planning, and then to make it minimum, like to come with minimum cost for construction. And also I remember there are some students, when they want to um, admit themselves into these schools, they have to sit for tests. So this admission tests will be, will be evaluated, and they evaluate students based on entrance tests and maybe interview. Okay, so students who want to get admitted into this school, they have to pass through some tests before they get in, and then these schools are free of charge. The next one is NCERT has brought out national curriculum for secondary education, a framework, areas to be covered. So let's see what are those areas to be covered. And it is the NCERT who bring out this NCF, okay, national curriculum for secondary education. And what are those areas to be covered during this stage? That is languages, and then mathematics, science, social science, art education, health, and physical education. I think all of you have uh, passed this stage, okay, isn't it? So you are in this third semester right now, and then all of you have come across these subjects: English language, Kasi language, mathematics, science, social science, art education, health, and physical education. So these are the areas to be covered during this stage, which is a secondary stage. So these are some of the program of action 1992. Next we will see the next slide is we have come to the conclusion. That is, to conclude, National Policy of Education 1986 and Program of Action 1992 have made some recommendation and modifications on secondary education, which mainly stress on improving the quality of secondary education and work on providing opportunities to the talented students. It also focused on setting up Navodaya Vidyala in every district, which still function till date. The biggest contribution is suggesting new structure, that is 10 plus 2 plus 3, which is very famous till this year, as a new NPE 2020 changed the structure to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. It also stretched out to promote technology, and every student is going to expose to promote innovation and experimentations. Hence, we can say that this policy has its own implication on the present system of education till date. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any problem regarding the secondary educations recommended by the National Policy of Education 1986 and the Program of Action 1992, so check out the previous topic on the recommendations of NPE 1986 on primary education and its Program of Action 1992. So once again, I would like to request all of you to kindly listen carefully and read out. And if you have any problem or any confusion regarding this topic, you can always call me or WhatsApp me in my number. So with this, I'd like to wind up and say thank you so much.